Yo, what's going on, guys? Snoozeman back here within the YouTube video, and today we're actually going to talk about how to keep Madden 21 franchise mode interesting this late into the year. And I'm going to be going over really 5 topics and areas to cover. So hopefully this can actually help you guys stay within Madden 21 franchise mode, even though it is coming to a wrap and it's coming to an end. But hopefully this can keep you guys and at least keep up with it. So one of the things that I would like to go into is setting rules. So let's say you're in an online league. I am in an online league right here, as you guys can see, which this is a fantasy draft league. And setting rules is the biggest thing, guys. We can make examples out of this, like let's say draft picks. Let's say you go and you try to make X amount of trades for a first round draft pick, and you guys are acquiring like 10 first round draft picks. Obviously, that's not realistic, and that's not going to be exactly fun to some people and in some leagues. So you can set a rule on that. You can only get 3 first round picks or something like that. So setting rules, I feel like, is going to create a good balance within the game between realistic and fantasy style. And more so for online leagues, it's going to really balance things out and make a lot of things funner for you guys, because you're putting that balance beam in the middle of things to where it's going to be fantasy style and realistic. And if you do that in your leagues, it's going to be way more fun than to just make it all fantasy or just make it all realistic. So I feel like balancing that out is going to be for your best interest. Next thing, rebuilding teams with updated rosters. Obviously, we have updated rosters, guys. Updated rosters is in community files. I've showed you guys in many videos on how to take that from there and upload it into a franchise, whether it's online, an online league, or just offline. But rebuilding teams with updated rosters, don't rebuild teams or just really just go into any league that's not updated right now, because you're not getting any fun. You're going to be basically playing the same Madden 21 that came out back all the way in August of 2020. So that's not going to be essentially the move. So definitely go in and download the latest roster. I'm talking about guys like Julio Jones and the Titans, and then all the new rookies that are drafted. Work with that right now and get ready and prepare yourself for Madden 22 rebuilding. I feel like that's definitely the way to go, and not just the current rosters they gave you back again in August of 2020. The next thing, guys, if you guys haven't done fantasy drafts, do a fantasy draft. As you guys can see, I have a fantasy draft league. I'll show you my lineup here real quick. It's a random lineup with a lot of random players, and again, that is because it is a fantasy draft league. If you haven't done it, I have a guide on YouTube on this channel where I show basically step by step, pick by pick, my strategy and how to do a fantasy draft. So that's a really neat and nice guide for you guys to have if you guys are interested and haven't done a fantasy draft yet. And it is there for people that have done it and just to improve their overall selections. But guys, that would be the way to go. If you haven't done a fantasy draft, fantasy drafts are very, very fun. They're outside of your particular standard league rosters, where you're given your regular roster, you're always given, and you work with that numerous of times. Whether a fantasy draft, it's kind of like obviously a fantasy league you do for the NFL. Now, this is kind of like similar for Madden, but you're using that as a team and you're rebuilding that team. So obviously a lot funner, and especially if you're in an online league and you get to play this against other people, like again with a friend like I have here. So definitely, if you haven't done a fantasy draft, guys, go ahead and do a fantasy draft. And then another one here that I covered a little bit while back, creating draft classes. I talked about this a little while back. Creating draft classes is really fun. You can create one, so we can go into
Now let's take a minute to see how you
which
can improve your
I don't have
team.
it right now, guys. I would have to go into the next season, but I go into the next season. Let's say I go into week 3 the following season, and it pops up scout college points. I can go into that, and I can go into auto-generated rookies, and I could literally take that that draft class and upload it into a saved roster from me, and I can take that roster and edit with it. I can edit any current rookie that you want this year. You can do a 2022 class. You can edit anything there, or you can really just do anything you want. I mean, heck, you can do legends. You can make just whoever you want in these and upload it and save it once you edited it, and take that roster, put it into a franchise, and you can use that roster every single time. So I would do that more often, guys, in creating draft classes. Again, if you're not if you guys don't know exactly what I'm talking about, I do have a video on that on this channel on creating draft classes and importing that to a save roster. So make sure you guys go check that one out. And really the last thing here to keep you guys fresh is update sliders and settings. I've showed that millions of times, which is over here, guys. So sliders, again, XP sliders is going to kick up the percentage points, or really the skill points you're going to earn on some of your positions. So you're going to get more XP, get more essential skill points to be able to spend on your players. So essentially, so the rating and overall can go up. So you can always shift those around. There's never just a constant setting. You can always move those throughout your franchise. There's never an end to that. And settings, which I feel like you guys should always mess with your league settings. Your league settings should always be moving. You shouldn't have a constant rate. So let's say you guys want to play with injury on, then play with injury on, and the next season off, or you want to up your skill level. You want to change your game style. It's completely up to you guys, but that's always fun, moving that around and seeing and testing the different elements of the game. And again, we also have gameplay sliders over here, guys, which it's a slider to determine really the difficulty of the gameplay between you and the CPU that you're going to be playing. So I would definitely check this one out. I also have tip videos on how to, or tip videos for the best league sliders, XP sliders, league settings. I have all that stuff on there as well. Always be checking in on these and updating these, guys. You're going to max out and get a lot out of your franchise if you're moving those things around. If you just have it constant and you're never really moving any of those around, it's going to be very boring, and that's how people hop off franchise mode, is just keeping things the same and playing with the game that Madden gave us. So we always try to move things around and make the most out of it and get the most we can right now. So hopefully, this video did, go out and, show you guys that there still is a lot of fun to be made, even though it's very late. If you guys did like this video, make sure you guys are leaving a like and dropping that sub button down below, hitting that sub button down below, and commenting anything you guys would like to see in future videos. But we are still trying to hit 500 subs in the future, guys. We are already at 405, so hopefully, we can get that in the nearby future, and thank you guys for all of that. But again, guys, that will be it for today's video, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next one.